Hello, and welcome to the Dr. Shelley Meyer Dr. Shelley Meyer YouTube channel and Women in Medicine Be the Change podcast. I'm so excited to welcome Dr. Mamta Kumar, who is doing some exciting stuff with starting a business that is completely separate from medicine and very interesting investments. And I can't wait to hear more about that. But Mamta, I'd love for you to tell us about your background, about where you started and kind of what led to the changes that you've made.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Mamta Kumar. I am an integrative medicine physician, and I was working as a part-time hospitalist, right before the pandemic hit in. And then, throughout my life, I think my identity has been around medicine, and I didn't know how to be outside medicine, even though I was struggling quite a bit in my personal life because of my special need kid who was born in 2014. And I was struggling, balancing special need parenting with the work. And it seemed like, in 8 years of my career, right before pandemic, I had switched 4 jobs. I started as a primary care physician. I was working full time. I had a complicated pregnancy, went back, didn't work out. I switched to urgent care in the same institution at a different location to see if that would work out. And I would have a little flexibility, so that I could accommodate her therapies. Well, that didn't work out. I took a break again. I moved town. And then I thought maybe if I work as a nighttime full-time hospitalist, I'll have more time in the day. That was a disaster. I worked as a nighttime hospitalist for 1 month.
1 month.
1 year.
Oh, I was going to say.
Sorry
well,
about that.
It must have been really bad if it was 1 month.
No, oh my gosh. And the thing was, the notice period for that specific job was 6 months. So within 4 months, I realized that I couldn't last. It was not working for me, but I had to put in the resignation, not knowing what's going to happen again. And then I switched again. I switched to a part-time daytime hospitalist. That's where I was. And I thought that was my dream job, dream location, right before pandemic hit. And then when pandemic hit, well, I'm at high risk of complications for COVID. And my little girl, she was doing 40 plus hours of therapies. So I was like, gosh, what do I do now? And then, how the pandemic was going on. There were no PPE. There was shortage of everything. So I went on a medical leave, and then I just kind of focused on the family and the kids and this another exciting side gig, which I bumped into investing. So I've been doing that pretty much since then.
Wow. Yeah. I know. I can't wait to talk more about that. Yeah. Now tell me, how did it feel when you finally let that go? I know you tried so many different settings and then you were kind of forced to almost, for medical reasons for yourself and your daughter. How did you feel when you finally let that go and you weren't working?
It's very interesting that when my daughter was born, I almost felt like I was stuck. Like I didn't want to continue. I just wanted to be a mom, but I couldn't leave medicine.
Right.
And I always had I was like, my identity is around medicine. I do not know anything outside medicine. I do not know how to be outside medicine.
Right.
I went to medical college 22 years ago now, when I was 20 years old in 2020. So all my adult life has been around medicine. All I knew was physicians. I just didn't know anything outside medicine. So I thought, honestly, it would be very painful, but it was just a weekend and it was so freeing to just feel like human, to have that human schedule and nobody was waiting for me. There was no obligation and no baggage of patients. I could just be me, take care of myself, my daughter, my family. And then start to dream again, what I would want my life to be in the pandemic. And in fact, that's what I thought I wanted to do for the 1 year. I knew pandemic was not going away, So I was like, how about I focus on something different and try to design my life the way I want? Because I tried so much, because I just wanted some flexible schedule so that I could take my daughter for the therapies, or if the therapist came here, I could focus on those things. And with all the job options which I had done, I was like, gosh, there's no way I'm able to find that. So how about I design it and just forget that I'm a physician and then just start all over again. And that's what my mindset was. And
Wow. And then you said you're integrative medicine physician also?
Yes,
So you
right
did some
before
training in
pandemic, I
that?
had finished. Yeah, so I did
Mhm.
2 years of Andrew Weil's fellowship program, and
Great.
and then I had finished the fellowship right before the pandemic hit. So my plan
Mhm.
was to start an integrative medicine, telemedicine practice too, which I'm finally starting now.
I think that's such a
Finally.
great idea,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to
Yes.
learning more about that. So you're
Right.
getting that on the ground now?
Right now, like, yeah, the
Oh,
website is up 2 weeks ago, just working on the back end of the stuff, but it is up. If anybody wants to get a schedule appointment, they can do that.
what's the
Yeah.
website? Share that with us.
It's integrativecaremd.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that work? It's telemedicine. So,
It's a telemedicine. And
mhm.
honestly, it feels a little odd, but that is my side gig now because
Yeah.
investment has been doing so well. We have a team now, we're growing. And I love that part of being an entrepreneur, a businesswoman who can just do things on her own terms. So
Right.
I do not want to spend too much time on the telemedicine because I just still want that hours. I do not want to work like 12 hours, 10 hours. I still
No.
have very limited hours I work.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
integrated medicine will need to fit in those hours because I'm not going to
Right.
compromise my personal life, around it. So it's like, probably I think I'm going to be spending probably 10 to 15 hours per week max on that. Yeah.
That's great because that keeps you in medicine,
Yeah.
and keeps a passion
Yes.
of yours
Yeah.
going. So let's dive
Yeah.
into the investment piece of it. How did you
Mhm.
start in that? How did you learn? What resources did you use? Where did you
Okay, so
go?
regarding the investment, when I switched to part-time hospitalist job, I realized that my income had slashed to half. And I had to start thinking about what I'm going to do, how to supplement the income. So one of our family friends was investing in land. He was buying and selling land, So I was like, you know what? That's interesting. But it took us a little bit of time for me to warm up. But when I realized that I was off for 3 weeks in a month and I was working 80 hours, for 1 week, and then other 3 weeks I was totally off. And, so I did have some time to start kind of explore,
Yeah.
into that. Did something. I think that business was formed in 2018 as a side gig. Continued to perform okay as supplemental income in 2018, 2019. But when I left job in 2020, well, you know how physicians are. I just do not know how to sit still. And
Yes.
I love to learn, do something, be creative,
Yeah.
even though I thought I didn't know anything outside medicine. I started to kind of venture out in the other communities where the other investors were who were doing this very specific land investing. And then we had already made some money, six figures, by that time. So, and then I
Wow.
saw the other people making like seven figures and stuff. I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do, especially on my own terms. How about if I give it a try just for a year and then I go
Yeah.
back to medicine if it doesn't work out anyway.
Right.
So
You have
that's
a
how.
definitely safe, background to go back to. So there's not a lot of
Yes.
risk there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have to have a huge amount of money to invest in the beginning, or did it, start small and then you reinvest and
It's
reinvest, or?
Yes. I mean, honestly, as I told you, I had switched so many jobs. So my finances, like our family's finances, were not so great because I was
Okay.
just focusing more on switching jobs and how to find like a daily balance. Like I never looked into
Right.
finances,
Mhm.
but when I quit job, I started kind of look into it. And obviously those didn't look good and we didn't have much funds to invest.
Right.
So so it was like an exponential growth, which happened with the company. We put very little money and then the profits which came from the business kept on going back to the business,
Right. You put them back
and
in.
that
Mhm.
happened. Yes, just everything kept on going back. I was not pulling any money out. And I think we did that up till a year ago when I was able to kind of, make enough income as a full-time physician. And then I was like, gosh, now I want my time back. Then I started to hire people, create a team, more systems, but still it is almost a self-funding. We have not gotten any investors' money yet, but we are just
Good.
growing it at such a, fast pace that I'm at a
Mhm.
point where like, maybe I need to kind of start considering that. But right now, everything is in-house. It's just our funds and the company is just growing by
How
itself.
big, how big is the company now? Like how many employees do you have?
So I have three full-time people working with me. Three of them are in Philippines. One is here, the fourth one, and one is contractor who takes care of the transaction. So I have like
Okay.
5 people and other realtors and other people whom we work with, but pretty close to 5 people on top of me.
Okay.
So
and it's land. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. 6.
Yeah, like 6. Yeah.
Land investment, or are you flipping anything, or what kind of properties?
So now, since I went into the real estate, I wanted to make sure that I have enough passive income going on too. And I work on saving taxes. Mm-hmm. So buying and selling of the land is almost like flipping. We buy and sell it at a very fast pace. We'll buy it, we'll put it in the market, we'll sell it, the profit goes back in buying more land and we'll sell it again. So that just keeps on happening. Like, for example, right now I have 5 in purchase side, 4 in the sales side. So we are just kind of working at a very fast pace with the team. And now this part of the business doesn't save taxes. So to save taxes, we started to acquire the rental properties too. So last year we bought 16 doors because, I am pretty much in there, like doing real estate full time. And I wanted to make sure that I save taxes too and put money all back in the real estate. So we acquired 16 doors just last year, like in 1 year. We just bought to make sure that we're even in the taxes.
When you made 16 doors, is that what you said?
So that's like 6 duplexes in multiple homes.
I don't know the lingo. It's okay.
Sorry.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah. So you're balancing both sides of it there. So what's the name of your investment? Terra Firm Investments?
It's Terra Firm Investments. Yeah, great. That just focuses just on the land side, and others, are the rentals. Yeah.
So if any women out there were thinking of doing this as a side gig, real estate or land investment as a side gig, or where do you think they should turn to learn more?
Gosh, this is very, for me, I really think if anybody's looking for something to do virtual, because all this business is pretty much virtual and on your own time and things like that, just reach out to me. There are just so many resources out there, which can be confusing, but reach out to me if you want to do this. I really think this is a very good niche where not many people are out there. In pandemic, obviously it has gone up, but still, I really love this.
It's amazing how much it's boomed for you. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. How can our viewers or listeners reach out to you?
Just reach out to me. I'm in the Facebook. You can DM me, or we have our website, which is not so up to date. Like if it's a medicine side, just reach out to me through Integrative Care MD. But if it's the investment side, just reach out to me, either DM me or just go to terrafirminvestments.com. Okay. And we are soon updating the website so that it looks a little better. It's very basic right now.
I found the website is not always the most important thing. You got to run your business.
Business is doing well.
Yeah, exactly. The business doing well is more important. So the Integrative Care MD, is that what it's called? Okay.
Yeah, integrativecaremd.com.
Is that you handling it exclusively? Or do you have
that's something which I just started by myself. I don't have any help in that. So right now, because I want to make sure I keep this business separate, I asked my, people who are working for Terra Firm if they have any social media and other experiences, and they don't seem to have those experiences. So I'm like, what? At one point when this business is making some money, the money will go back in and hiring and scaling and things like that. Okay.
Well, I'm a solopreneur. I know how it is. It's just, it's very freeing to do that, to just set your own time and dedicate as much or as little as you can at that time to do it. Yeah. Well, it's been so great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing how creative you were in a really difficult situation, and how I think it's very inspirational how you didn't just lay down and take whatever medicine job was out there. You needed to be there for your family. And, the pandemic kind of forced it to happen, but what a beautiful outcome. That's amazing. It's so inspiring. So thanks so much for sharing your story. And I'll list, what you told as far as contact resources in the show notes and in the description. And if anybody has any questions for Dr. Kumar, any questions for me, just reach out to us. Thanks so much for joining us, though. Have a good day. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Dr. Mamta Kumar. That was so interesting to see what she did in the face of the pandemic as far as leaving medicine because she kind of needed to at the time because of being high risk, and then turning that into a positive thing where now medicine, her passion for medicine can still be there, but it can be a side gig because her full-time gig now is the real estate investment or the land investment in real estate. So if you'd like to learn more, please check the description and the show notes. Also, if you'd like to support the mission here on my YouTube channel and my Women in Medicine Be the Change podcast, I'd love it if you could join me on Patreon and become a patron. And there's different levels, and that helps support the channel and the podcast and keep the mission going to help women in medicine reclaim their mental and physical health and rediscover their love for medicine in whatever aspect that may take. I'm highlighting a lot of different women's stories, just showing a lot of paths that can be taken even within healthcare settings or outside of healthcare settings. So if you'd like to support that mission, please join me on Patreon, or you can also just like, share, and subscribe to the channel and the podcast. On the podcast platforms, please leave me a review. And on YouTube, please subscribe, comment. That keeps the conversation going and helps support the channel. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.